Hello, friends. This is Dave Hurwitz, executive editor at ClassicsToday.com, here with reference recordings. And today we're talking about Ravel's operas. There are only two of them, L'Espagnole and L'Enfant et le Sortilège, and they're very, very different. L'Espagnole is an opera buffa, a delicious little one-act confection about a clockmaker's wife. Concepcion is her name, and his name is Torquemada for some reason, who is trying to arrange an assignation with one of her lovers, none of whom seem to be terribly interested in her. And they wind up hiding in clocks in the clock shop, and they get carried around by a muleteer, a pack driver who's there to get his watch fixed, while Torquemada is out for the day. And so all kinds of hilarity ensues. Ha, 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 as you can tell, as they all are hiding in clocks and being carried up and down and whatnot. And that's the story. It's a very, very slender story, but Ravel filled it full of delicious music, including an amazing opening, which is, a musical representation of the clock shop with pendulums and things and ratchets and rattles and springs going off. Oh, it's just amazing. Anyway, it's a delightful work. And then about 10 years later, he wrote L'Enfant et les Sortilèges. Now that sort of translates as the child and the spirits. Sortilèges are little spirits, mischievous little spirits. And it's about a naughty child. The story's by Colette, by the way. A naughty child who is destroying his room, and he's just made a mess of everything and tortured little animals, and he's a little brat. And the child is condemned to his room by his mother for being mean and nasty and misbehaving, and everything in his room comes to life. All the toys he's damaged, the furniture he's molested, and then he goes outside and the animals are all annoyed with him and they attack him, and a squirrel gets injured and he bandages up the wound, and the animals all stop and say, oh, he's actually a good child after all, and he comes back to the arms of his welcoming mother. I mean, that's that story. It's a fairy tale. It's magical, absolutely magical. As different as can be as from L'Espagnole, and it also reflects the influence that Ravel acknowledged of Gershwin musicals, American musical theater, with its rapid pacing and character vignette little aria things and big tunes, and it's just lovely. So anyway, the second one, the L'Enfant et les Sortilèges, is far more popular and much, much better known than L'Espagnole. I mean, they've both been recorded a bunch of times, about a dozen times for L'Espagnole, and who knows how many times more than that for L'Enfant et les Sortilèges. But the reference recording about which I think there shall be very little controversy, is this one. Deutsche Grammophon, Lorin Maazel with the Orchestre National de la R.T.F. It used to then be, later on it became the ORTF or something. Anyway, in any case, it's the Radio et Télévision Française, that thing. And oh my, with a wonderful cast. The cast includes, let's see, for L'Espagnole, there are only 5 characters in that one. Jane Barbier, Jean Giraudoux. It's hard to read this. Giraudoux, Gabriel Bacquier, José Van Damme, and Michel Sénéchal. I mean, they were all young and fresh voice. It's just wonderful. And L'Enfant et les Sortilèges is Françoise Auguin, this is the little boy, Jean Collard, Jane Barbier, Sylvain Guilma. It's a huge cast, although everyone takes multiple roles. Colette Herzog, Heinz Rehfuss, Camille Moran, and Michel Sénéchal again, and with these people. And oh my, what wonderful performances these are. They're actually perfect for someone like Maazel, who was something of a mechanismus himself as a conductor, kind of cool, incredibly precise. It's really funny when you think about Lorin Maazel doing L'Enfant et les Sortilèges. He made his conducting debut when he was like 5. He was an incredible child prodigy who seemingly had no life whatsoever. It was all, his parents must have been awful. I don't know. But, that's what he did. And he was technically one of the best equipped conductors in the universe. His interpretations could often be very strange. but not here. Here, because Ravel is I mean, he's a clockmaker himself, orchestrally, and full of wonderful detail and orchestration and things to keep a virtuoso conductor occupied. And the singing is just terrific. And these have been reference recordings since like the minute they came out. There's just no question about it. The only real competition was Ansermet. For his, he did both of them, and I think he did actually L'Enfant et les Sortilèges twice. One is mono. The Espagnole he did was in mono, and maybe L'Enfant was in stereo. I don't know. I have to go back and look. But essentially, for stereo recordings at this period, which was the early 60s, these were definitely the ones to have, and there wasn't very much competition. I mean, that's the point. Now, of course, there's tons. I mean, there's just tons and tons and tons of it. And most recently, Leonard Slatkin did both operas with the Lyon Orchestra and part of his big Ravel cycle. But, the fact of the matter is, these have held up for all this time. First of all, because of the wonderful French cast in both of them. And second of all, for Maazel's really, really good conducting. Beautifully paced, wonderfully rhythmic and vibrant. He really banged this orchestra into shape. And so there you have it. If you want to get the Ravel operas, you start with these two, because they will tell you just about everything there is to know about how they operate, and then you can branch out and follow your whimsy for other conductors, other singers, or other more modern sonics and all of that stuff. But these sound really, really good, so you don't need to worry about that. Anyway, keep on listening, friends. Thanks so much for joining me. Take care.